Thom Hayden is on the line with us, the director of the Peace and Justice Resource Center, former California state senator, author, and progressive activist. ThomHayden.com, his website. And I will always remember him for the Port Huron statement as well, and SDS and all the impact that had on my life. Thom Hayden, welcome back to our program.
Hey, Tommy, how are you?
I am great. It is great to hear from you. And before we get into what's going on, the whole beginning again thing, you told a story on our TV show a few weeks ago about how we win democracy inch by inch, and I really wanted to share that with our radio audience. Do you remember that?
Oh, I have all kinds of ecological metaphors. Which one would you?
Okay, I'd have to go back and see which one it was.
You want the inch by inch?
It was one about a piece of legislation that you had initially opposed, and it ended up being the way that the police department in Los Angeles got taken under control, basically.
Oh, that was the Al Sharpton's, in-your-face lobbying with Bill Clinton that got the pattern and practice language included in Clinton's omnibus crime bill, which was otherwise, quite regressive from a progressive point of view, but it led to language that could be used by civil rights lawyers here in L.A. To put the police department on trial, get them into a consent agreement, and significantly reform the police department over the past 5 or 6 years. That's an example of the idea of inch by inch. I don't mean that we should go slowly. I just mean it turns out that these steps towards a better society are often very painful and don't seem like much in the face of the opposition, but they're very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you wrote an op-ed called "Beginning Again." People can read it over at ThomHayden.com and numerous other places around the country. You want to summarize that for us?
I'm already on an additional version on this mandate. I think that was written, at 8 or 9 o'clock L.A. time, as it became clear to me that Obama was winning, and more than that, a lot of progressive outcomes were guaranteed by this election. The point I had made before was it would be a 1 or 2% margin. I was with Nate Silver, 538 on that, and I was very concerned, at how many people would be disillusioned, would refuse to vote, and I was very concerned about the largely white radical opposition to Obama that preceded the election. Fortunately, for Obama, none of those third-party efforts or left opposition efforts made any difference whatsoever in the outcome of the election. So here we are. I think the first point is that the outcome. It's like in a battle. It depends on the morale and discipline of the troops, in a sense. And this was a brilliantly executed organizational strategy by Axelrod et al., exploiting the changing demographics of America, moving us towards a more of a racially and gender diverse society. Secondly, it's not true that there was no mandate. There's a tendency now to say that it was just a reaffirmation of the status quo. Well, tell that to the Tea Party. Tell that to Paul Ryan.
Well, not only that, more people voted for Democrats for the House of Representatives nationwide than voted for Republicans.
Yeah, no, it was a setback, and we have to. Nobody's going to claim it as a progressive mandate unless progressives do.
Right, but I mean, there actually, if it hadn't been for gerrymandering, the House would be Democratic right now.
Well, yes, but it was also a triumph over the forces of voter suppression. A lot of people just have this mentality that because elections get fixed, they'll always be fixed, they'll always be stolen, but the experience since Gore has been that people who are really in the game, people really fighting on the ground, are fighting for every vote like perhaps they didn't used to. So I think it was also a huge success for people whose lives were on the line, like the LGBT community, the DREAM Act students that I teach at UCLA, women who didn't want to go back to the 1950s, given the incredible propaganda machine and billionaire forces on the right, I think you have to be at least relieved at the outcome. It would have been better if the political system had been reformed, but even having to play under these unfair rules,
right? And we don't have to worry that Ruth Bader
won the election.
Pardon?
Now we'll see. But let's breathe more easily.
Yeah, I'm with you. On the other hand, it seems two things. One, it seems like the real work begins now. To me, anyway, it's if we don't create movement politics and start pushing, not just President Obama, but all legislators, right across the board, to start pushing them in a more progressive direction, we're not going to get there. And secondly, I would say that this was not an election so much about demographics as it was about values. The values are held. The values of community, for example, are very, very deeply held by minority communities because that's how they've survived. But I think that these were values. I don't think that this had so much to do with pigmentation as it did with worldview.
Well, speak for yourself.
I am.
My friend. Obviously, they're closely connected.
Yes.
When you get 80% of the people of color vote for Obama and 39% of the white vote for Obama, there is a racial divide that is interwoven with what you might mean by values. I think it was a repudiation of the market economics and beggar thy neighbor ethos, so the Ayn Rand philosophy.
And those are values.
That's great. And I also think, Tom, that there's nothing inherent in the African American experience or the Latino experience that makes them big future defenders of an American military and corporate empire. Mm-hmm. I think they have values. They're proud of having served in past wars, but their values are implicitly connected to improving their lives at home. And if that means shrinking the military budget or pulling back the talons of the American eagle from countries around the world where we don't belong, tough. And this is what's really frightening to the Republican elite, not just the loss of
right. And to the military-industrial complex,
philosophy, but the loss of potential ground at home.
Yeah, I'm with you. Thom Hayden, brilliant observations. Tom, thanks for coming on and sharing them with us today.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, and to you too. ThomHayden.com, the website.